What's up, Heroclix fam? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got a Heroclix Avengers 60th top 5 of each rarity for you. I'm pretty excited to be doing one of these. I've never actually done a top 5 and I've never actually done a review of a set. So I'm kind of nailing both here. And I'm definitely looking forward to doing similar stuff like this for Notorious and Wheels of Vengeance. I'm very stoked about those sets, so make sure you check that out when I post it. And as always, feel free to leave your comments below, and don't forget to Hulk smash that like button if you liked the video. Then getting into rares here, Falcon is definitely somebody you have to mention. Just even from this set, I've seen some really cool stuff with him and some combos. He's Avengers and Soldier. He has a movement and defense ability and is close combat expert. And let's look at his abilities. Aerial extraction. Move. After resolutions, you may choose a standard friendly character that shares a keyword with Falcon that he moved through during this action. If you do, place that character adjacent to him. And it's really good. It's almost like basically a telekinesis. And it does say place, so you will be able to make an action right after that. So you can plan these interesting alpha strikes and aerial attacks with Falcon here. He does have flying, so he can taxi. And he has the movement ability Fly by Punch. Charge, when Falcon uses it. After resolutions, you may roll a d6 and move him a number of squares up to half the result. Really useful. He has energy shield, deflection, and toughness to make him a little less squishy. But for 50 points, he's a really solid option. And then moving on here, I think my next one I'm going to mention, I got to start talking about Hulks, because that's something that we got in spades in this set. And the first one I will mention is the Rare Hulk. He's a good option for Pulp, or you could run him in Theme. A lot of options for him. He has Avengers, Brute, Defenders. He's invincible, close combat expert, super strength, and charged from the get-go. His defense abilities have protected outwit. He has willpower, and he can heal when he destroys blocking terrain. And overall, I just think a really good rare. And then I am including primes in these rarities, and I do gotta mention, of course, the Prime Rare Hulk, because he's bonkers. You know, everybody found out playing him at 15 points with the Cloak of Levitation is really good. And he's got the Avengers, Brute, Defenders, and Monsters keyword. He destroys blocking terrain. He has the traded abilities, 3 traded abilities. Hulk Smash, start the game on his red starting line. He may only heal from his Path of Destruction trait, and when he does, he may heal past his starting line. Then he has Path of Destruction. When the Hulk destroys one or more pieces of terrain after resolutions, heal him 1 click. If it was a terrain marker, roll a d6 and heal him half the result instead. Which is pretty useful if you plan, you know, your strategy around that. Gamma powered, willpower, and I'd said the protected defense ability. Oh, and he's 10 points on his other starting line. I think I actually fought a team where they were running just monsters and they had him included in there. And the 4th rare I'll talk about here is Abomination. Really just happy to have him. We're going to be seeing him in the MCU very soon, I'm sure, with Thunderbolts and the Hulk going around. He has the Aim, Brute, Masters of Evil, and Monster keywords. Masters of Evil and Monster are awesome. He has, 3 starting lines? So he has 120, 60, was it 90? Yeah. So he has Destroy blocking, and he has the Path of Destruction like the Hulk. When Abomination destroys one or more pieces of terrain after resolution, heal 1 click. If it was a terrain marker, roll a d6 and heal him half the result instead. And he has Gamma powered just like the Hulk. Willpower, Abomination's defense powers have protected outwit. That's awesome, you really need that in this meta. Then he has the traded ability, Spiked Carapace, if I say that right. When Abomination is hit with a close attack, after resolutions, roll a d6, 5 through 6, deal 1 penetrating damage to the attacker. And yeah, he's just really awesome. I like him as a Masters of Evil and Monster. Definitely be running him in some teams for fun. The Prime Iron Man is really cool. He has Armor, Avengers, Scientist, Stark Industries. He's 100 points. He's invincible, range combat expert, running shot, precision strike, leadership, willpower. He can remove action tokens from people that share a keyword with him. He gives, at the beginning of your game, he gives people armor tokens, and friendly characters with an armor token have wing movement symbol and vulnerability. And when this character is dealt damage after resolutions, remove an armor token. I think it might be a little underrated. I think it's a really cool ability. And I think there's a few honorable mentions here. Rare Doctor Strange is another one of my honorable mentions. For 60 points, he's mystical, Avengers, Defenders, Illuminati, mystical. And then he has astral form, phasing, teleporting, free, plays a and then he has free, place Doctor Strange in a square, a smoke train within range and line of fire. And the attack ability, mystical charms and shielding. Smoke Cloud. Smoke Cloud is free but only to generate 2 markers. Friendly characters occupying smoke terrain generated by Doctor Strange modify defense +1. Opposing characters occupying smoke trains generated by Doctor Strange's modify defense -1, and lines of fire drawn to them can't be hindered. So he's definitely a good support character. I mean, he does deal 4 damage. He has super senses, his probability control, helps you with your offense and your defense. So he's actually a really good piece. And not getting too much into these honorable mentions, but definitely War Machine. He's cool. I do like using him as a sign line ability, but there was a time where I did that. I brought him in and somebody killed him. You got to play very tactically with when you bring in sideline pieces. And Ultron's really cool just to have as a rare. You can use him in a few different formats, which is pretty fun. He brings in the drones. He's a good Masters of Evil piece, a good robot, and a good ruler. And moving on from rares, let's go to super rares. Of course, we're going to have to mention here the super rare Spider-Man. He's just awesome. He has 3 different markers. I believe it's 90, 45, and is it 30? 90, 45, and 25, I believe it is. And he has a wide range of abilities. He has super strength on his 45, and on his 25 he has outwit. He has Avengers, Celebrity, Fantastic Four, Marvel Knights, Reporter, Scientist, and Spider-Man family. Wow, that's a mouthful. And I think he's really cool for all those keywords. I really love him being a Marvel Knight. He's the most recent Spider-Man that we've gotten that is a Marvel Knight, which is really cool. I could totally see him being like a Spider-Man from Devil's Reign, even though he's technically not that Spider-Man. In his Spider Sense ability, he can once per turn reroll. And he has a traded ability, Spider Sense. Once per turn, when Spider-Man is attacked, you may reroll the attack, which can kind of come in handy. People are going to gun for him because of his Marvel team up. Friendly characters that are adjacent or have the Avengers keyword have team player ability. So you use team player to copy the Spider-Man team ability, either giving them just the Spider-Man team ability super senses or increasing everybody's super senses, which I have done with a bunch of different Avengers team. Got a whole Avengers team that had super senses and boosted them all up with the Spider-Man team ability. Then he has the thwipping and quipping, I believe that's how you say it, movement ability, charge, flurry, and plasticity. When Spider-Man hits, after resolution, choose one, give a hit character an action token, a hit character modifies their attack -2, or a hit character gains immobile until the next turn. I think he's really good at all these starting lines. I have used him a lot on the 25, but I would probably play him more on the other ones. And it's pretty cool that he has flight, so he can taxi stuff around for you. That was the first of our super rares. Going into the next one, I do want to mention the Thor, because he is just a pretty solid Thor, having a 150 starting line and a 75 starting line. He is cosmic and mystical, which is pretty dang cool for a Thor. Triple targeting and 5 range. He has Asgardian, Avenger, Deity, and Warrior. And you can do so many things with those keywords nowadays. Heck, you could use Mary Jane from War of the Realms and turn him into a Spider-Man family. So he has the 2 traded abilities. First is the Crack of Thunder, Pulse Wave. When Thor uses it and the attack roll is doubles, hit and opposing characters are dealt 3 damage instead. That's really good. I think he's still going for like 60 bucks. Is this how you define your friendship as the next trait? At the beginning of the game, choose a keyword or team ability. Opposing character with the chosen keyword or team ability modify damage -1 when attacking Thor or an adjacent friendly character. Some interesting utility you could get from that. Then he has the defense ability God of Thunder, energy shield deflection and impervious, and the damage ability Things Have Changed, range combat expert and shape change. Just a really good piece, honestly. Then the next of the super rares that I'd like to mention, of course, is Absorbing Man Prime, which is honestly, if you're able to use his split into pieces trade and get his fragments and pull him out mid to late game, which is possible, I've seen people do it, he's actually very devastating. With Cosmic Energy, Masters of Evil, he's just a wrecking piece. He's gonna beat face when he comes out. He gets all these different abilities, and he has this react to everything, become anything at the beginning of your turn, and when Absorbing Man is attacked, choose a standard power. Absorbing Man can use the chosen power this turn, Protected Pulse Wave. And I think this, kind of is trying to do him justice, because Absorbing Man in the comic book universe is actually a very powerful character. He could turn into adamantium or do all kinds of crazy things. He has the Cosmic Team ability. I think that makes him even more dangerous. For the fourth super rare I'm going to mention is the Super Adaptoid, another Prime. He does have I think it's 140 point starting line and the 80 point starting line. He has Armor, Reporter, Spider-Man family. I didn't realize he had the Spider-Man family keyword when I had first seen him. So definitely interesting. He has the Spider Adaptoid, Invincible, Super Senses, Super Strength. So he has some versatility here, and that's all traded. Pretty dangerous, and that is Protected Outwit. Web of Hammers. When Super Adaptoid hits, if the attack roll was doubles, after resolutions, you may have a hit character unequip any equipment, then make a close terrain action as free, targeting that character regardless of adjacency. When she does, she may treat any one terrain marker, including objects within range and line of fire, as held. And then she has a damage ability, Trick Arrows and Spider Silk Bowstring, range combat expert. When Super Adaptoid is given a range destroy action, after resolutions you may place her in a square that was last occupied by this destroyed terrain. If you do, make a ranged attack. So what makes some of these pieces so good is just having so many abilities and stuff for what points. I mean, look at her for 80 points. She's going to have that damage ability, the Trick Arrows and Spider Silk Bowstring, the crazy range combat expert, and then she also has Invincible and Super Strength and Super Senses Protected Outwit for 80 points. That's good. And then fifth, I decided to throw Clea, the Sorcerer, or I think it's Clee, the Sorcerer Supreme. She has 5 range, triple targeting. She has the 150 point starting line, as well as the 80 point starting line. She's mystical. She has Defenders, Mystical, and Ruler. She has Sanctum Sanctorum. Opposing characters not within Clay Sorcerer Supreme's range can't target friendly characters within Clay Sorcerer Supreme's range. And then she has the attack ability, the Flames of Faltine. Penetrating Blast. When Clay Sorcerer Supreme makes the range attack, after resolutions, give each opposing character damaged by the attack a flame token if they don't already have one. At the beginning of your turn, deal each character with a flame token 1 penetrating damage. When a character clears, action tokens remove any flame tokens from it. And then she has the defense ability, Sorcerer Supreme of the Dark Dimension. Stop, Invincible, and Super Senses. So she's just a cool piece to have in the game. She has Prob and Super Senses and Running Shot and Invincible. And, we're going to be seeing her in the next Doctor Strange movie. If you'd seen the last Doctor Strange movie to come out, she is the lady at the end of the movie. And I don't really necessarily have any honorable mentions here in the super rares. I do like this Monica Rambeau and her old school outfit. I believe that's and she has Avengers, Cosmic, Next Wave, Police, Sword, and Thunderbolts, which I didn't realize that she had Sword and Thunderbolts. That's pretty cool. And then the next honorable mention would definitely be She has the 110 starting point line as well as the 50 point starting line, so that gives you a little bit of option with her. She has champions in humans, celebrity, and Avengers. She has a close combat expert, shape change. She can basically fit into any kind of theme team that you want her to. And she gets probability control, either probability control or perplex based on what keyword you choose. And then she can choose between tiny damage, standard damage, or colossal damage. Tiny giving her this adjacent move ability, then standard damage giving her flurry, colossal damage giving her charge. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I do have a few more videos I'm going to make for Avengers 60th, and then I'm going to move on to Notorious. So don't forget to check out those videos when I'm posting them. I do plan on doing some more gameplay and drafting soon, so make sure you check that out. And like always, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.